This podcast shares personal experiences and life perspectives, not medical advice. We advocate for those living with chronic pain and chronic illness. Guest opinions are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host. Now, let's get real with the Arachnoiditis Unfiltered podcast.
Sorry.
Yeah.
As a result, I knocked my mic over. I talk a lot with my hands. I do apologize. Sarah.
Well, the idea here is, and I want to make sure that everybody understands. See, there's nothing special about JD. There's nothing. I am not a different human being, and that is what really triggered that journey in me to really create these systems that are easy to understand and implement for people. And that's where that's when I started writing the book. After I did the Epic Deca, I had no intention in writing a book, no intention in becoming an author. But what I did was I met this guy after the Epic Deca, and one guy was telling me, "Do you know who this guy is? He just finished 12 Ironman, and then I was doing the Canada Man, which is a part of the extreme race. Like the world championship is the Norseman, essentially. But I did it for fun a couple of weeks after doing the Epic Deca. So the guy looks at me and says, "You already have..." Yeah.
Hold on, let me pause here. A couple of weeks after doing 10 Ironman.
Well,
just doing it.
You are such a glutton for punishment, my friend.
Yeah.
That is, but you know what? That's me at my core. When I finish something, I look for the next something to push myself through, right? And that's not for attention. It's not for anything else. It's for me. But anyway, I interject. I digress.
It was.
So I do have a few questions I would like to throw out there.
Let him finish the story about how he connected to this guy, and then we'll.
For sure. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah. I'll finish it. I
just want to know how you got the alien name then. Like, how did that come about?
It is that guy.
It is that guy. Okay.
Oh, it is that guy.
It ties in perfect.
Okay.
Because I did. So to train for the Epic Deca, I was already registered at the half Ironman in Galveston, Texas, and then the full Ironman in Woodland in April.
Oh,
so in
Houston?
April, I had two Ironman, one half, one full. And then after April, I flew to Hawaii with all my crew, and then I did 10. So by the time I did the Canada Man, I already had 12 Ironman into my system.
Oh my God.
And I did it in June. So I already have 12 Ironman into my system. I did 2 world championship with Team Canada, like a couple of weeks after it. And the guy is just thinking, because in his mind, he's thinking, this is a guy that is outside of this world. So he's an alien. He must be an alien. And to me, well, there's 2 ways I can register this information. I can say, I'm the alien and I'm different than everybody else. And here's me being awesome and nobody else is on my planet. Or I can say, I'm no different than you. You can come onto my planet. Here are all the systems, which I elaborated today, a couple, so that people get a different mindset. Because again, they might have certain types of limitations. And those limitations might go as far as stopping them from taking care of their wife. And that's what we've seen a lot of time with some of the executives. A guy that makes ridiculous amounts of money. It's almost you're vomiting money almost. But at the same time, the guy is fit, mentally sharp, dresses well, has everything going. Discipline is not the issue for that guy, but sometimes clarity might be where what are your children becoming in life? Because that your children are doctors and really successful financially, but they're neglecting the next generation. They're not making an impact in society. What type of impact do you leave to the world? So this is what we do. We don't just look at the pillars of the 4 pillars of our the foundation of the Hungry Warrior Academy is built on Epic and Deca. Deca is our system, but Epic is based on eternal restoration, right? So how is God viewing your life according to his standards?
Yeah.
Physical temple, how are you using your temple? And for these guys, a lot of them, they're sharp. There's nothing wrong about them. You test their blood is fine. Everything is fine. All the organs, you would test them, everything checks out within the limits or even sometimes higher than the normal. But then again, their identity is sometimes rooted in work and overachieving and racing, and that neglects the final pillar, which is C for community. And so sometimes your community gets to be on the back burner because you want to be an overachiever. And we've seen it with guys like Mr. Wonderful at the Dragon's Den. The guy talks about it extensively, where he neglected his family to make money for an extended period of time. His family relationship took a toll, and eventually he came about to creating that equilibrium. So I want people to understand that the two factors. One is choose your pain, because it will be painful regardless of what you pick. If you go for a 5K run in the morning, it will be painful. And if you don't go and do that 5K run and you stay on the couch and eat Cheetos and eat ice cream, or there will be also pain. Okay, so just pick your pain. Oh yeah, I'm that type of guy. I got Friday night. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, we
yep,
all cheat,
course.
right? As long as we don't cheat on each other.
I don't even call it cheat meals. I call it part of life. That's it. I eat my tub of ice cream very often. Why? Because I have a good relationship with food and I understand how those systems work. And the way to operate in life is based on data points, but also you are a being with feelings and emotion, and the way that you get to learn and how to, but that's it. I just choose to live. Right? I'm not going to stop myself because, see, the data shows, well, I'm not in a race right now. Like right now, I'm going for the Trail Half Marathon World Championship in a month. So the tub of ice cream is going to wait. But if you would look at my diet after that, the second that race is done, Steve, Sarah, I can tell you, I have a... It's in my hand. I got the tub of ice cream. I crossed the finish line and it's in my hand.
Yeah,
That's your
trophy. That's your reward. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. And then there is no equilibrium, which that's what it proves. There's no equilibrium. Nobody has equilibrium. Nobody has the perfect standard that works 100% of the time for everybody. And that's why we created the system of the Hungry Warrior Academy that can be applied to specific systems for that particular person and be custom made for that person. Now, we understand the glucose swings. We understand the electrolytes level and what you are needing in your specific standard, because we've seen so many. We understand how the nervous system works and how to decrease your inflammation. We understand all of that, but you don't need to understand all of the intricacies of it. You just need to understand the reaction to it, and that there is no equilibrium. What do you want to achieve? And then build your values, and then your goals will follow. So
yeah. I mean, listen to your body. First and foremost, I have started to notice over the years, I can feel subtle changes in my body. Like I wake up and it's just like, man, something's not right. It's like you're on a level here, but you wake up and you're just like this, just kind of a little off center, right? And something is going on. And that's when I start thinking about what I've eaten, what I did yesterday. And that's where the notes come in, and we talk about this all the time, man. Journal. That's the key to understanding patterns.
Right.
So yeah, we definitely want to help promote the Hungry Warrior Academy. So we'll put a link in here, and look for the books. Hey, you know what? Please subscribe. And I'm obviously starting to wrap it up here because I know JD's got stuff to do. He's training for more stuff than we train to survive. He trains to accomplish.
Right.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah,
But,
now
hey,
I do it for impact, which is amazing. Now we
yeah,
just,
Yes.
I
That's
swim,
wonderful. Right.
right? We swam last year with the team. I went to swim 17 kilometers, about 12 miles,
oh my God.
cold water. I swam for
Wow.
over 7.5 hours nonstop. And,
Man.
but again, the focus was not on JD finishing the event. The event to me is natural. I understand these systems and I'm able to apply it. To me, it was about the impact that we're able to generate in the world. So the whole event raised over $65,000 for chronic illness kids to go
Oh,
to
that's
summer camp.
wonderful. Yeah.
Wow.
So again, it's based on that impact. Not
Right.
so I've shifted that focus on doing
Yeah.
a lot of those events to more creating an impact, sometime on children and other people that want to join in and be a part of this this movement that I was gifted. Again, I don't mean gifted in the sense of genetically. My parents are not working out. They're still not working out at all,
My
even
mom
after
didn't either.
seeing me doing. And my dad is he's always laughing, right? His biggest workout is going from the house to his car, and that's about it.
My dad, by comparison, used to call his triathlon was mowing, weed eating, and blowing off the grass on the drive. That was his triathlon. And that's when I was doing triathlon. He used to joke about that. Oh, I did another I'm doing one weekly triathlon. I'm like, dang.
That's a weekly triathlon, yeah. My dad has nothing. My dad has nothing of an athlete, unless it's my dad. No, my dad doesn't even mow the lawn either. Lives in an apartment, so lives in an apartment. So he doesn't even mow the lawn. I mean, my dad's not even into your dad's triathlon. Your dad's more of an athlete than mine. But my dad is still healthy. So I was not gifted genetically to become this ultra triathlete. I had this form of capacity, this calling from God. I'm a Christian, so I call him God. You can call him the universe or whatever you want to call it, but I call him God. So God called me to be an ultra endurance athlete, and I'm using it to again create and generate this impact on the life of others. To use these talents to improve the life of others in their own ways. If going to do a 5K is enormous for you and you just need to get off then go and do it. But at least now you have the system. You listen to this podcast, you say, well, this is the system. He talked about it and he put it in an acronym. I can put it into practice. He gave me some tips, gave me some advice, and now I can use it for my life. I don't need to know all of the types of magnesium. Those are for some professional. Go seek some professional. There are amazing coaches, naturopath, therapists out there, and you don't have to come. We work with a specific target market that some people would not even fit in. So to us, what we're looking for is just that other people get the value so that they can improve their life and the life of others around them in their community, so that we can live in a better world, so to speak, to the magnitude that they can reach.
So I actually thought your alien was going to be based off of the John 17:14. Like we're not of this world. That's really where I thought you were gonna. I thought I had it figured out, but different story. I guess.
It is definitely, and that's why,
Right.
John 17:14, which is that you must be in the world, but not of the world. So
Right.
definitely, and I alluded to it earlier, where you must pick your value system before choosing your goals. Many coaches out there, many therapists say that you should pick a goal which makes you busy, and then by being busy, then you forget that trauma, or the trauma shifts. When I'm not talking about shifting the trauma, because even people who sometimes don't even have any trauma, we look at rich kids who go to university. They leave
Sure.
the house. The dad wasn't present because he was focused on making money, has no value system, right? Back then, it used to be that most families were on the Christian system. Now, if all of a sudden their set of value was rooted in Christianity, and the dad was enforcing these sets of values, then the kid would go to school, and it's not, they blame the educational system. Many people do. Many
Yeah.
people blame the entire system, but instead look at yourself and the responsibility that you carry. So leave it to other countries and other presidents and all of these people to, whether you are on the left or on the right,
Right.
pick what you can change. And that change is pick a system of values. Now, that system of value for me, okay, as for me and my house, I am choosing Christianity. Okay, so I'm not shoving Christianity. I'm not pushing Christianity on people. I'm talking about my system of value, what is working for me, what has worked for me, and what has worked for a lot of other people. And our academy is founded on Christian principles. So it's to live in this world. So I'm that kid that doesn't have much of a trauma, is rich, not, okay, the biggest trauma sometimes is just losing internet for more than an hour or something like
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so
right?
bad.
If he goes to university, and now if he does not has a system of value, he did not choose his system of value, or there was no structure for him to have a system of values, he just picked a goal. And this goal might be to become a doctor, maybe become an engineer like JD, maybe become a psychologist, or any other types of degree there are out there. Okay, I'm just picking a hypothetical scenario. If his system of value is poor, then he's ruining his chances. Or what I have to say about that is he's choosing the latter of the two decision-making process that I talked about earlier. He's choosing to live by his mistake, not the mistake of others. So we created over time, over the course of history, certain systems of value in order to survive as a society. And that system that I choose to live by is Christianity. So before picking a goal, pick your values. And then those goals, I can pick any goals now. I mean, there are certain goals that I'm not going to pick, such as, becoming a drug dealer, or illegal drug dealer, right?
Right.
Because I'm still a naturopath, right?
Yeah,
So
that could be
naturopath,
profitable though.
I still sell supplements, right? But
Yeah.
not, but
Yeah.
which are a type of drug. But what I mean is, I'm not going to become an illegal drug dealer. Why?
Yeah.
Because I cannot partake in certain types of behaviors because I am a
Have your
Christian. So
value.
again, that becomes an identity. And so now you get to live in the world, but you are not a part of it. So that tied it into Christianity, definitely for me. And
Yeah.
that's the advice overall for people that believe in Christianity or not.
Yeah.
That's up to you. Is pick your value system. And once you have your value system, put it in place, be serious about it, and then move towards your goal, not the other way around. Because again, as I just put it in other words earlier with this hypothetical scenario, even a kid that doesn't have trauma goes to university and his goal is to become a doctor, become a person that makes money, and have goals that are quite big. If he does not have that system of value, then he might indulge in certain types of parties that will deter him from his ultimate destiny, certain
Mhm.
types of activities that are not conducive to his growth and not attached to his system of value. Therefore, he will learn from his mistake, not the mistake of others. And if I had to choose, now I made a lot of mistakes, right? You're seeing is not a success. I see myself as a giant bundle of failure that eventually that's how I see myself.
Yeah,
Definitely. I
well,
see myself.
we learn from more from our failures than we do our successes. At least I've always thought that.
Yeah. And I wish that people can learn to this podcast and say, well, JD is a giant failure. Thank you. I will learn from his mistake and not make those mistakes. Because
Right.
imagine if all of a sudden I did not make those mistakes. Yes, you're right. I would have not become the same person and I would have not have the same mindset. However, I learned from somebody else and I'm going to make my own mistake anyway. There's going to be mistake regardless.
Sure.
So I'm going to learn something else, but I'm starting from a scale that is much higher because I learned from those mistakes. I learned from the mistake of others. Then it would be like starting life with a dad that is a lawyer. And many kids do that. I've seen it so many times. We had a person come in and not going to name any names, but they came in and we started talking. Both parents are lawyers making significant amount of money, and parents have their own firm and huge companies. And the kid says, well, I'm a victim. I just want to go back to the basic and learn everything from the basic. And then, well, how about you learn the basics, okay, but very quickly because you're already rich. How about you start there and then move up? But many people say, well, how about I fail? So I go back to the bottom, go back to square one, and then move up. What you're doing is you're depriving other people from moving up. If that person started from the position of being rich and then moved up, they would be able to help other people and they will still be making mistakes and they can still learn the basic, but in a more fast way, as opposed to restarting from zero and then moving up.
Right.
But not everybody that moves up from this level to this level is going to be philanthropic. And that's kind of what I see is wrong with the world. The more you have, the more you should be willing to give and help others. But
Well, I would hope that us instilling that into my child early, he will be helpful for others.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, like rooting that early on. But
Yeah.
you're
Well,
right.
and-
Not everybody, unfortunately, is, or they lose that value over time. I'm not sure.
And I
Because
think
they're not
that's-
serious about it, or maybe
Right.
they don't see. It's like the people that go to the gym on January 1st. They have a very good intention.
Right.
That's a
And
crowd
that's
that
the last day you
that's-
see. Right.
that's the significant majority of America. Unfortunately, they start on January 1st when they should be starting well ahead of that and just keep it going. It's not about putting a flag on a date. And that's really the misconception of health is just start. Don't wait for a date. Right. Don't be able to go back to, I would rather have my starting date be 2-day versus, and regardless of the day it is, versus no other day of the week. And I want to circle back to a couple of things and then we need to kind of wrap it up because I know you need to get places, probably need to go train, go stress your body and put some cortisol in it.
It's a filter. I'm on a bike right now.
Okay. You say you chose your path because God put you there. God put me on this path as well. It took me many, many years to realize that I'd survived because of a miracle and a purpose, not just sheer luck. And that's why I started this podcast. That's how Sarah and I connected. We have the worst, one of the worst diseases you can have, one of the most painful diseases you can have. But you know what? We find positivity in that. And that's what we're hoping to give to other people is you may have the worst circumstance in the world, but if you can see a ray of light and that ray of light makes you happy, focus on that ray of light and build off of it. Don't concentrate on the 99.9999% that makes you miserable. Focus on that 0.0001% that makes you happy, and you can build on. That's a platform. That is a building block that you can put in the ground and just add to it.
Yeah.
And that's really what I want to end with is positivity. We deal with a lot of difficult situations with the people that we talk to. Yesterday, we had a conversation with this friend of mine that was just heart-wrenching.
Mm.
But in the end, she laughed and smiled. And that's really the whole purpose of what we're trying to do, is just instill the fact that you can find positivity when you look for it.
Right.
Being happy is a choice, unless your chemistry's messed up and you need a little help, go seek it. But you know what? Love yourself. Don't be down on it. Be happy. It's April Fool's, and we had an interview with an
Oh,
alien.
I thought that's where you were going with
All
April
right.
Fools, because yeah,
No,
our message is not about
That's-
happiness. I was not happy when I was
everything
doing it.
everything preceding that was heartfelt. But no,
Oh.
I'm I wanted to put a teaser
Yeah.
out there for the for
Yeah,
the alien
I don't chase
conversation.
positivity, and don't think
Yeah.
that anyone is going to get this in the book. It's not think positive. Everything's going to be positive in your life at all. I don't focus on the positive all the time.
Okay, yeah.
The way I look at things is I look at things with data. That's it.
Mhm.
That's the way. How does your body react to certain stimuli? And then you make a change, which if you are preventative, you're not waiting for the marriage to break down before you make a change. What you're
Yeah.
doing is you're making a change,
Sure.
and then you fix the relationship over time. If there are certain factors, okay, in Christianity, it's adultery. If there is adultery, then you have a divorce. If not, you do not have any rights in Christianity to divorce. So again, based on value system. So it's not based on happiness. Why? Because I was not happy to walk into the military office and join. I was not happy when I did the Epic Deca, like at all. There is no happiness when you wake up at 3 a.m, or yesterday it was 2 a.m, and I did a podcast, and then after this, I'm working out every single day. You have lots of pain that goes through your body. Nothing is about being happy. Nothing is about being in an emotional state. And the way you show love to yourself, okay, if you want to go on this tangent of loving yourself, okay, then it's by looking at the data and looking how you react to those stimuli so you can make a change. And then once you see those data points that hurt you, for example, turn on the TV, watch it for an entire day, binge on whatever you're into, CNN or Fox News, it doesn't even matter. They're all the same. Okay, by the way, they're all the same. Why? Because they create some form of tension. They're selling you
It's
by
profit.
telling you some propaganda, whether it's on the left or on the right. I'm talking to both, by the way. Okay? Both side of the equation is going to receive a certain type of stressor, and that stressor will have a reaction. How do you react to it? So do that test. Turn on the TV, put on whatever type of news that you enjoy watching, and then the second day, turn off the TV and do not go on any type of social media or screen that will show any type of news. Okay, just by doing this will create a data point. And then second data point on the second day. This is a 2-day test. That's it. How do you react to it? Now you're seeing the pattern, okay? And then I'm going to go real quick. One, it's recognize the pattern, okay? So we use over here the acronym RISE, okay? Recognize the pattern, create that identity around the pattern that you want to, or the person that you want to become. S is for the structure. So create that structure, whether it's the environment or even sometimes structuring your next 5 minutes. Create that structure. and then engage in healthy challenges. Okay. And that's how you should approach it, not based on, because you're going to learn in this book that it's about, well, how do you utilize the neuroendocrine system at a pragmatic level? Okay. I broke it down again on everybody can understand it, whether you went to school or not, it doesn't matter. You're going to understand it. How to use the neuroendocrine system to optimize your performance, or how to relax your systems with certain types of meridians or pressure points, or so those are certain tips that, again, based on a certain stimuli, you receive a reaction. But if you base yourself just on emotions or being happy, then the body's innate way of behaving is, again, I talked about survival, and the way to survive is the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
If you just behave by being happy all the time or by just thinking about positive thoughts, what you have to do is sometimes, and that's what I did, to write my book, I had to, I blocked my best friend. That's what I did. I called him and I said, yep, Brian, I like you. I love you, brother. Right now, you're not conducive to me writing my book. You're negative. I'm going to block you. And then when I finish writing my book, I'll call you. I finished writing the book. I unblocked him, called him, and I said, buddy Brian, I love you so much. I'm going to pay for your food, pay for your hotel. He had his own room. And then for the book launch, he flew to Texas. And then when we released the book, he was with me. He's still one of my best friends. But again, I removed that negative environment, or I created this environment to remove these negative frequencies, whether it's media or even my best friend. Sometimes it's family. They mean well. They want to help you, but they don't have the tools. And sometimes they're just hurting you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just to understand, all right, I'm the husband. My wife's going through something. How about I just either listen to her or I remove myself from this situation and I tell her, this is what I'm doing. I'm removing myself for an hour just to make sure that you understand where I'm going. You're not worried, but I have to remove myself. I need this space in terms of time, which removes the stress. So again, there's nothing happy about telling a wife that is in a crisis,
Right.
I will just listen to you, or I will move, or no, it's better to tell her, calm down, which led more men to the grave than anything.
And then do this.
Right. Yeah.
So what you do is now you're just going based on data. And so the data prove, okay, this is the type of reaction, and you're going to get a much better reaction. I mean, we have a woman right here that can tell us if that would work on her or not. I'm giving you, you're going into a crisis. I'm your husband, and I'm telling you, Sarah, just for now, I have to move out for maybe an hour. I'm going just out for a drive, and I'll be back in 1 hour. So now she knows exactly when I'm coming back.
Right.
Now she knows exactly when I'm coming back. She knows exactly where I'm going, and she knows that it's healthy where I'm going, and then I'm coming back. So now it's just diffusing the situation just for now, just putting it to a later date, and then coming back. But again, there's nothing happy about watching your lovely wife, Sarah, just going through a crisis and not being able to help her. So again, it's not based on happiness. It's based on how the body reacts. And in terms of reaction, I would get a much better reaction by removing myself, not being happy for a while. Maybe she's not going to be happy at first by hearing these words, but eventually it will grow into a pattern that she understands. Well, no, he's not going to somebody else. He's not going to, which happens very often. That's how, for most cases, affairs start, is by someone would be disproving of certain or having some conflict or disproving of certain activities in the house, and then certain conflicts occur, and one of the two partner just goes and get their it is a need. Okay, sexual is still a need, but they get their needs met by some other person because there's no more intimacy or no more intimate connection between the two. which again has nothing to do with happiness, because what makes me happy is having sex. So as a male, I should be having sex with multiple people. But based on my value system, I have to wait for marriage, which again, between me and you, Steve, and all the listeners, that's not what I want at all whatsoever. I'm a man. But based on my value, it doesn't make me happy to do this, to say to a girl that you really like and you're on a date and you say, I'm waiting for marriage. Those are my value system. Or to be told by other men, this is how I should behave. This is how the system is built. Well, again, goes back to John 17:14. I am to live in the world, but not of the world. And of the world is all of these value systems that we are plagued by constantly, that I should be this male, that it makes me happy to sleep with multiple partners. Correct. You are correct. If you just want to live a happy life. My dad told me once, he said, JD, I said my son, but he said, JD, if you want to be happy, do cocaine. Okay. And that's what my dad told me, which you're right. If you want to be happy, do cocaine. That's true. Why? Because you're going to be extremely happy. You're going to feel invincible.
Yeah.
You've never done cocaine.
Euphoric.
There you go. You will be happy. So just go do that. Now, will you live a long life and healthy? And probably not. However, if you want to follow a certain system that create a certain reaction to help you live a longer, more successful life, it will require pain. And that at that point, pain is not happiness. It's not fun. There's nothing fun about working on a marriage or working on becoming a successful ultra triathlete. There's nothing fun about it.
But it strengthens you. It strengthens the relationship. It strengthens your resolve to get through those tough times. And what was it? God will not put more on me than I am capable of dealing with, is really what it comes down to. From my perspective, he's heaped a ton of shit on me. Pardon my French, but I've dealt with so much.
I'm French. It's not French. Yeah.
Okay.
I am French. Yeah, I can. It's not
That's perfect. That's perfect. Where did that saying come from? Right. But my point is, we're capable of handling anything that life throws at us, unless we succumb to it. So you either rise above any type of situation that will try to suppress you, or you succumb to it.
Yeah, you can take the little pain, or you can wait until the pressure rises and then take care of the problem when it's imminent. You have to do something.
At its critical mass, right?
Exactly. So how about you be preventative and then take care of your body, take care of your health, take care of your community, which again are the 4 pillars of the Hungry Warrior Academy. The eternal restoration, take care of your relationship between you and God. That's at the top of everything. Every single religion talks about it. We look at, and we don't even have to take Christianity. We look at Muslim through Islam. They're going as far as taking it so seriously that they perform certain activities that hinder the life of other being because, for example, praying in the middle of the street. That's hindering the life of other people. Yeah, that's where I was going. So right? So they pray in the middle of the street. That's hindering traffic. That's hindering the life of other people that might want to go to work. But again, it's that relationship. So what is that relationship with God or with, call it the universe, have this system of value and build it for yourself. What is that physical temple? How are you really taking care of your body, not just physically, but mentally also? And then identity. What are you identifying to? If I say I am, as Steve, I am, then what is that I am? If I say I am a Christian and I partake in certain activities, and I go to church on Sunday, but on Monday I'm partaking in some other activities, well, I might not really qualify you as a Christian, right?
But
what about community?
a lot of people hide behind that, saying, I can ask forgiveness and all's done, right? Even the worst sinner in the world, or the worst mass murderer, according to our religion, can ask forgiveness on his deathbed and receive it if he's repentant.
Yeah.
in his
Yeah, but
soul.
James talk about it. These are not, and he says that these are not reasons to behave this way. It's not
Right.
because we
Yeah,
have the
exactly.
grace of
Yeah.
God that we are to behave this way. So take it seriously. Take your health seriously. What I would use as a tangent to this is, if the worst sinner in the world can start somewhere, then so can you in your physical journey and your mental journey into neuroplasticity, into your having a healthier community or marriage or a better relationship with your kid. How about you start today? Here's the way I could tie it into even triathlon. And you know this, Steve, is there are 3 positions in a race, okay? You have the finishing, so you can finish a race when you cross the finish line, which means you started at some point and you finished at that other point. And now you reach that final stage. Okay. Now, there is also a DNF for those that are not familiar. DNF stands for did not finish. Okay.
One time
And
I
so-
did that.
Okay. And did not finish means that Steve started a race, meaning he made one step or one pedal stroke, and somewhere between the start and the finish, he was unable to, for some reason, okay? It doesn't matter the reason, he did not finish. Okay, that's not the point of trying to figure out why he did not finish, is he did not finish at that specific time. Now, there is the other one, which is the most crucial part that many people need to understand. It's the DNS. And that's where a lot of people are stuck. Okay. The S is not for stuck. The S is for start. So did not start is the other part. And many people did not start. So if you are on a physical journey, or you are on a journey of trying, I hear the excuse so many times. Either I'm too old or I've tried everything. Well, if you tried everything, it would work, okay? Because you did try everything. So you did not try everything. And no, you are not too old. Neuroplasticity is for everyone. It will take much longer, I agree, for an older being. However, neuroplasticity is for old and young. So you are to pick your pain, and you are to ultimately choose and take responsibility for your actions. And you will be judged for your actions, not the actions of your parents, your trauma, the military putting some stress on you, and all of the things that you've seen and lived. And you will be judged by God for your actions. So you are to live according to, well, either his standard or put whatever standard you want in your life. I choose those values, and that's up to God to judge ultimately, because every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that he is Lord according to the scripture. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of just boils it down to life comes down to choices. Your choices. You make the right ones, you make the wrong ones, but in the end, you have to own it. You can't deny it.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, start.
And don't do everything. Don't go and say, well, I will become fit, I will become sharp mentally, I will have a best relationship. Pick the way I could here's the one way that you can decide. Okay. Pick what is providing you the most pain right now. Okay. And even if you have a bad relationship with your wife and she says, well, you're not making enough money. If you have the best wife and you are treating her well, and most of the time that's the money will come with it, because the man will build the kingdom, but the woman will help that kingdom. So essentially, money was not necessarily the factor. Okay. So don't chase the money, chase more the relationship in order to create that symbiosis or this synergy in order to build the kingdom together. And once you can create that. So pick your biggest stressor right now. If your biggest stressor, you're single and you're fat and you're out of shape, you're depressed, and you know that being out of shape is your biggest concern. Okay, you're making decent income, or you're trying to make an income, and go work out. That's it. And when I say go work out, pick a coach, pick a trainer, pick someone, pick a goal, pick your values first, obviously, but then all of a sudden you choose what is your biggest stressor, what causes you the biggest stress on your life, what causes you the biggest inflammation, which again might be the physical body. And then you get trained, you get healthier over time, you're acquiring more knowledge, and then you move to other sphere. By being healthier and documenting the journey, then you understand stimuli, reaction, and then you can make changes according to your specific situation based on the systems that I provided earlier. So again, it doesn't even, you can remove JD completely from this equation. I'm not making money from this at all. Like, this is, to me, is providing so much value to that listener, that person, that they can have that success in your life. So pick that biggest stressor and tackle that one. Okay, now if you tackle that one, over time you build momentum, but don't just choose all of a sudden the physical and then the relationship and then the money, and then you're tackling way too much at once. You tackle one, and then it will eventually become your life will be better. It just takes time and that structure and building that structure.
I think that's a good place to wrap, because when you think about it, like, pick a goal, work back from it. How are you going to get to that goal and achieve it, right? Make your plan. But you have to start, and don't wait till next week. Don't wait till next month. Don't wait till January 1st.
Right.
Start today. Push yourself. And then tomorrow, make the finish line a little bit further. You'll feel better. The great thing about exercise, and JD, I know you're going to get this, endorphins. The body's natural pain reliever that comes out when you push yourself physically, and you get that rush of energy after. I always, like, if I go on a long ride or a long 4-on crutch walk and I come back, first I'm physically exhausted, but within a short period of time I start to feel this groundswell of energy. It's just like, wow. I mean, that felt good. And if you have not felt that in such a long time because you've been dealing with chronic pain or chronic illness or your disease, whatever the case may be, find that one thing, that one stressor, and work on that one stressor, then work your way back to the others. And then pretty soon you'll find that you're not that stressed. And when stress comes up, you can suppress it. You can push it down, because you're not dealing with a ton of it. You're dealing with one thing, maybe a couple, and then you're able to deal with that. So,
well, for people that deal with chronic pain, it's about inflammation.
Yeah.
So sometimes, very often, people go on, they have inflammation, they go on the couch, and then they just scroll through their phone, which again creates a stressor, which again creates a reaction, which compounds the stress because they're on their phone and they think that they're recovering. And now the growth hormones are kicking. No, they're not, because your cortisol level is still high, because all you're doing is just scrolling. So again, it's removing these stressors, not just in terms of food, but also in terms of noise in your life, screens, and certain types of sometimes we're talking about even information overload. If you, reading a book is amazing, but reading too many books all the time, you're just having an information overload and you're not able to digest it. So chronic pain is dealt with removing the inflammation in your system. What is that biggest inflammatory component in your life? What is it? And it might be, for a lot of cases, it is. That's the advice I could leave to people who are in chronic pain all the time, is have for Android, it's called digital well-being. So it's not an app, it's free. It comes with the phone. What is your screen time? And so you monitor that screen time, and very often
Like,
that's what
yeah.
yeah. So I'm not saying get off the phone, but I'm saying if you monitor it and then you can recognize the pattern,
Yeah.
build that identity, structure, and then engage in healthy challenges, which I talked about, rise, then you're lowering that inflammation over time. And even because, again, you're looking at, we talked about GI issues earlier as the same component. A lot of it has to do with some people, they have gut issues. Um, and they would come in the house. They say, well, I can't run because I have gut issues. And then they go on their phone and then they just scroll. So they think that they're resting, but they're not resting because they're stressing their system.
Yeah.
Now, if you're stressing your nervous system, it contracts all of your organs. Now I say all, but like a lot of your organs get contracted. A lot of them get stressed. And when they get stressed, they don't operate at their optimal level, which sometimes, and I know it sounds, again, not a doctor, go seek a medical attention if that is the case. But a lot of people, they have GI issues because they watch too much screens, which they don't make the correlation between the two. And then their body would function much better because they just created that inflammation. So when I talk about stress, I'm talking about inflammation. What is inflammatory in your life that you can remove? And the best step would be watch your screen time by having something that is free. It's on your phone. It's on all the phones now. How much screen time are you spending on this particular app, which might trickle down to certain stressor in your life? And we're just talking about screen time in terms of nervous system as to how it receives this. We're talking about electromagnetic waves, and there's other component, but that's the tip that I could leave with all the people. Yep.
Yeah. And that it's about incremental progress, right? And I learned about that through Lance Armstrong, and also through what was gosh, I can't think of the name of the team, but it was a cycling team that raced the Tour de France. And again, it was all about incremental results, right? Taking a second here, taking half a minute there. And that's what relieving inflammation comes down to: diet, sleep, less screen time, more rest, more frequent little naps, small things that will make your world better. And if they take you from here to here, that's an improvement, and that's a benefit. So much great advice during this conversation. We have gone so long. I do apologize we went over, but I knew this was going to happen. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to break this down into 2 episodes because nobody's going to sit down for a 2-hour marathon. I would. I mean,
and that's how I used to do it.
Yeah.
I used to tune in the podcast that were an hour, 2 hours, and go for long hikes at the same time. And that's how
when you're on a bike, on a run, on a hike, on a walk, and you have a podcast going, you're tuned in. And our podcast, the streaming numbers are actually going up as a result of that. So I'm very happy about that. We're on multiple streaming platforms. But JD, I thank you so much. I want to stay in contact with you. I'm going to follow your exploits, and I'm dealing with some health issues, but I have other big things on my horizon. One of my goals is to do a half marathon with my forearm crutches. And like you said, I'm going to be walking it. Might take me 5 hours, might take me 6 hours, but it's start to finish is all that matters. And it's the work that it took me to get there that really matters the most, because I had this conversation with my neighbor. He's like, do you enjoy the event more or the training? And I said, I enjoy the training. I mean, I was so, when you start and you get past that 30-day mark with any type of training, walking, riding, running, whatever, past that 30-day mark, it becomes a habit, and it's a healthy habit that just keeps on giving. It gives in the way of taking weight away. It gives in the way of increasing cardiovascular strength and health. and it gives in a way that you feel good about yourself and your body, right? You get up and you feel all that. And that's what I wish everybody in our community, everybody that listens to us would feel if they would just get up and move. And if you do make that decision to get up and move, leave a comment, let us know. But please first like, subscribe. JD, thank you so much. Sarah, thank you so much for making the effort. I'm going to sign off here. And my aunt, this is going to be a new evolving or revolving thing. My aunt the other day listened to an episode. She goes, "You need a sign off or a sign on, like where you're consistent." I said,
sign off.
so I thought about the sign off, and one of our highest numbered episode of watches was Die Hard, A Christmas Movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know.
At the very top, and it was comparing it to Home Alone, and I thought, you know what?
Is it a Christmas movie or not? That's what it was. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm going to combine both.
Yeah,
two epic lines from each movie, and the new sign off is going to be "Yippee-ki-yay, you filthy animal."
Oh, okay. I don't know if that one's going to get up there, but we'll see.
Well, but you filthy animal. That's a big one from Home Alone.
Filthy animal. That might get up there.
Okay, it's a whip. It's a whip. It's a work in progress.
Right.
I'm going to end it there. Thank you all for joining. JD, thank you. Sarah, thank you. I love you all. We'll see you next round.